Welcome back to PipeCast and a second entry of Burley Boy Summer. This episode is Le Petit Rebond. Let's take a look at that blend.
Here is Tabac Manil's Pure Samois Le Petit Rebond. Now, this is the first ever blend from Tabac Manil and the first ever tobacco mixture containing Samois leaf being used as a condimental tobacco. Now, I'm reading a lot of this from tobacco reviews, so bear with me here. The bulk of the blend is a not too sweet blonde that Vincent had been tinkering with for over a decade. He eventually tabled the recipe for several years, but now is finally being released for all to enjoy. The blend contains 30% Samois and 70% of a mixture of mellow, smooth, golden tobaccos, but good luck getting the contents of the blonde portion from Vincent. So, we have this real dark leaf that's in here, which is the Samois, and then we have some brightness mixed in there. Tobacco Reviews does say that it's made up of Burley, Kentucky, and Virginia, and we know the Samois is a version of Burley, but also stated they left it up to a mystery as far as what makes up that blonde portion, but and I think we've said this before, it comes dry, you smoke it dry, it's a very easy to maintain blend, but this is Le Petit Rebond Pure Samois. Let's see how it smokes. All right, that was Le Petit Rebond. So a little backstory. In the past, we have referenced Pure Samois, La Bramuse.
Yeah.
And that was kind of always, I think, speaking for you, like when you bring up Pure Samois, that's what you're talking about. The Tabac Manil Pure Samois, that's it. But, there have been others, other variations. And so
most of the name variants are cut.
Okay.
Except for this one.
So this one is actually, there is a difference.
There's a difference.
So this is, this is the first time I'm trying any Pure Samois, and you've relatively just now had this blend, like within the past few months.
Yeah. So it comes in a 3.5 ounce brick, and this is the second brick I'm smoking. Okay. So I'm definitely lived with it for a minute.
This is my first smoke, so this is a true first impression. Last review. So I guess I'll get into it. Let me. So right off the bat, it's pretty strong. It's a strong blend. I wouldn't say it's not nicotine strong. It's strong in the sense of like nightcap. Like it's flavor. It's real strong flavor. The first thing it reminded me of was like, the hot, not hot as in spicy, but like just the hot flavor of like a fajita. When you're at a Mexican restaurant, they bring out fajitas and they're sizzling on the thing, and like there's a smell of burning cast iron wood, maybe, like just because that plate's hot. I get that from this. I don't know why, but like the first thing my mind went to was a fajita quesadilla. It doesn't taste like that at all, but just the aroma and everything puts me in mind of like being in a Mexican restaurant and somebody ordering some of those. It's very, once you get past that, it's very subtle. I mean, it's got a strong flavor, but like and maybe it's just the first few puffs are really strong, because it's starting to kind of tail down a little bit. It's getting a little bit more real earthy. I wouldn't say it's real nutty, but it's got like an earthy, kind of like coffee, tea kind of thing. real woody. I mean, it's a typical Burley. I mean, but it's real subtle. It kind of puts me in mind of a cigar. Like the rim note is kind of putting me in mind of a cigar. Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. It's just it's hard to piece. It just feels right now. It feels like a muted Solani.
Okay,
it's kind of what I'm getting. Mm-hmm. A little bit different, but that's that's the closest thing it reminds me to is a muted Solani. But I guess I'll need to puff on it a little bit. I guess you can jump into it and see what's life been like with this blend.
Well, I like this blend pretty good, but there's going to be a battle of some walls where some days I need the added blend that's in the Petit Robin, mm-hmm. and then sometimes I need just the pure Samoa of like Bramuse, but I think those are going to be the two battling it out. And how do you describe pure Samoa? Like, I think the best description, there are two really. One is that it's alternate dimension Burley. Mm. Something just isn't quite Burley about it, you know? The other thing is that, like you mentioned, it has a very, 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 very strong resemblance to cigars.
Yeah.
This is, if you're trying to get a cigar smoker into pipe smoking, this is the blend, I think.
Rabon?
No, just pure Samoa
in general.
Gotcha. But we'll say Le Bramuse first.
Yeah.
Le Petit Rabon adds probably Virginia to the base, and it cuts back on the pure Samoa extensively. And it's a fine, super fine shag cut. Mm. And it burns clean, straight to ash. It's no fuss. You keep it dry. As a matter of fact, this is the driest. This is Bone Daddy dry. Like, you keep this dry. But it has a sweetness that comes through that's really good, and an earthy flavor that really releases that cigar bouquet. And it's just super enjoyable. Like, there's nothing. This is one of those blends where I can see how if you go, I hate pure Samoa, I'm like, I understand. Mm. Because this does not give any room for nuance. It's like you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. As a matter of fact, 9 times out of 10, those are the reviews I see. Either someone who really, really gets it or someone who really, really hates it. And there's nothing wrong with either opinion. It's so uncharacteristically like pipe tobacco that it's sort of confusing. But that's why pure Samoa, along with some other Virginia bases, is really a mainstay in the warmer months. Because I like smoking cigars in the summer. Mm. And guess what I can smoke instead of a cigar? Pure Samoa. And it sort of has that same treat that I would get. Now, this is going to kind of like deviate just a touch, but Don Pepin are the cigars that I prefer. So, and they have kind of a peppery, earthy flavor to them, especially the blue labels, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you know of Don Pepin or the My Father series, that is how I connect the dots to cigars.
Okay.
Like, I prefer Don Pepin. That's my cigar of choice. These remind me of a good cigar. Obviously, I'm making a comparison to, pure Samoa, Don Pepin. So if you know those cigars, that might be your entry level. Now, here's the thing. I find that these blends ghost pretty heavily. So I have a dedicated pipe to pure Samoa.
Okay.
I don't really... I remember, like, when you talk about ghosting, this is... If it's a myth to some people, I think you should be leery about this blend.
Gotcha.
But I love this blend. So, like, this is a desert island blend for me.
Oh.
Because it's so odd. especially if I only had to especially if I had to choose 3. If I had to choose 1, this might not make the cut, but like if I had to choose 3, this would definitely be in there because it's going to break up it's like a palate cleanser for every single pipe tobacco you can smoke because it's just so different. Oh, you like, Sobrani, you like Full Virginia, you like Pirate Cake, you like, it's another famous plum pudding.
Oh, yeah.
But you want something to kind of like destroy all of your sensibilities of pipe tobacco before you go into a new one. This is the pickled ginger of pipe tobacco, but I like it.
Yeah,
I will smoke it just as its own thing. So I'm not saying but I could see this being either an alternative cigar or a palate cleanser between blends, like major blends. In other words, if you've been smoking on something to try to decide if you like it for a week, and you're like, well, I need to get back into it, but I feel like that flavor lingers. This thing is such a powerhouse that it might actually clear out any idea, but it's so different that it doesn't alter the next tobacco.
Okay.
It's a really strange way of saying it, but I think that's true.
Yeah. Man, there was one puff where I retrohaled. Man, that's speaking of ginger, that kind of had a wasabi characteristic there. It was a little peppery. Yeah, I mean, and see, I'm not a cigar smoker, but that's more or less because cigar smoke is so heavy, and it just lingers on you a lot more than pipe tobacco does, at least in my experience. And so I usually take, I usually just don't smoke cigars. And normally, I guess for me, there's a little bit of a commitment there because, it's, with a pipe, you can choose to just not load it all the way. You can half load a bowl and with a cigar, I know you could probably put it away and like zip it back up, put it maybe back in the humidifier. I don't know all the nuances of cigar, but it just feels like there's a commitment there, and I'm just not willing to.
Well, I think this is non-committal though.
Yeah, that's the positives to this is that it's bridging that gap between, I guess, the benefits of pipe tobacco with the flavoring of cigar.
Also, if you like the flavoring of cigar, you know how expensive cigars are. If you're a cigar smoker, you absolutely know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
This is the alternative. This is the cheap alternative.
But
what's like $20 a brick?
Okay, yeah.
Completely dried out, so like you're getting more tobacco. You're not getting as much water content, and it's 3.5 ounces per. I got a brick here.
And the thing is, it's you don't have to.
This is Pure Samoa Labrador, but like that's how much you're getting. That's huge compared to a 10. That's like crazy.
And you don't have to put it in a humidifier.
No, you just.
It
just hangs out. I mean, I keep mine in something that could be a humidifier, but I don't care. Just in a little container.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry with it. It doesn't need to be sealed. Doesn't need to be rehydrated. This is the most. If you're a lazy pipe smoker, I hope you like this because this is your ticket.
Yeah, I mean, I like it pretty well. I mean, I'm probably going to need to live with it a little bit more before I can say if it's something that I would want to do.
I definitely think you should test out Labrador Muse.
Yeah, so, and speaking of that, we will be getting to that at some point in Burley Boy Summer. So, we're going to get to it eventually.
It's a weird thing where you really need to experience Pure Samoa before you add anything to it.
Yeah. So and I think that's kind of what we did this on purpose because or at least I thought it would be neat if I came at it from the opposite direction. Mm-hmm. If I start with Rabun.
Because we've already had these kinds of conversations.
Yeah. So just to see how I feel when we get to the OG. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's not a wasted effort. Just in reverse order. I would recommend going the opposite way.
Yeah. So
the only downside, there is a downside.
Yeah.
And the downside is that if you don't like it, man, you got a lot of it.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you could buy a sampling of it, but man, if you do not like this blend, I'm so sorry. I recommend it because these are the things that I said, but I know people who just don't get it. People who smoke cigars that don't get it.
Yeah.
It is a risk, but I think it's a risk worth taking.
Maybe if you want to try it, contact us and maybe we can send you some.
Maybe if I hadn't smoked at all.
Or on the other side of it, if you buy a brick of it and you don't like it, just send it to us.
Mm-hmm. P.O. Box, I'll smoke anything that you send me. .com.
POBox.com. Hey, we'll send you something. We'll send you a tin of Balkan Sobrani or some crap. No, we wouldn't do you that. We'd send you something good.
You don't want trash, do you?
Yeah, you don't.
Say like, hey, we don't like our people who watch, so we're going to send you some garbage, like Balkan Sobrani.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm probably going to need to live with it. Plus, going to need to have La Mousse. But I'm enjoying it. We don't speak French, so if you're a French watcher, I apologize. I really don't like butchering your language, but it seems like there's never, unless I'm talking to someone specifically from France or Belgium, they're not going to give me a good pronunciation. So I've just listened to what other people say. Yeah. Bramuse. La Petite Robin. La Petite Robin. I don't know. Anyway, you got a beautiful language. It's just I don't speak it. Yeah, you gotta, we're not trained in it, so. But yeah, I mean, it's all right. I'm just, like I said, I'm gonna need a little bit more time with it. This is probably not the best filler to do. I think that's the fun of it. You're gonna get whatever you get out of it. Well, to wrap it up, I mean, like I said, it's got a lot of cigar quality, a little bit of peppery. On that retro hail, even a little bit just in the mouth feel. There's a little bit of pepper going on, and it's very, very earthy, very woodsy. So it feels like a very natural tobacco. But like I said, I think time will tell. If it's something that I'll come back to, because I'm already not a cigar person per se. Right. So But it's not bad. It's not like I don't enjoy it. It's just, is it something I crave? I don't know yet. Mm-hmm. Time will tell. So, but yeah, let us know if you've had this one and you like it or you hate it. I think somebody had mentioned it before in a comment about it, and so we hope you found this video and you liked it. And you liked it, yeah. So we'll continue on with Burley Boy Summer. So. Stay tuned. Yep.